Are warp grinders any good in patch 6.2.2? Actually, their hit points just went up for this patch, but my old weapons teams videos were in late 2023, so it's best to just take a fresh look and see what this unusual weapons team can do for you. And very relevant to the Talk of a Siege rework, they make walls go kaboom fast. Let's undermine our enemies. Recruited for 600 gold and 150 upkeep, this weapon team on Ultra scale has 24 entities and 4,416 health between them, which is more health than other teams, at least it is now. They tend to have more entities, but this is 480 health more unit-wide on Ultra than in 6.2.1. Armor comes 70 stock, no special resistances. Leadership 45 is not great at all. Speed 38 and charge speed 45 aren't slow by any stretch, so they get around. Melee attack begins at 20, and that's very bad, though each strike is magical attack. More on this later. Attack interval of 5.7 is contrasted with a default of 4 seconds, so that's slow. Splash target size is medium, so Empire Knights on down, and the max target splashed is 4. That's a lot. Melee defense begins at a miserable 18, weapon strength of 96 feels weirdly high, I mean that's troll level. This is split base 18 and armor piercing 78, so if they manage to hit anything, they'll beat armor up. Charge bonus is 8 and the mass is 600 per team. Benefiting, quote-unquote, from scurry away and getting the strength in numbers mass 10% speed debuff when over 50% health, benefiting for plus 8 melee defense as the benefit, also plus 6 leadership. This is a siege attacker and has Wallbreaker, meaning it really can attack walls and do vicious, obscene damage against them, bringing them crashing down with the kind of speed a battering ram might bring down a gate, at least pending the siege rework. They also have Vanguard deployment. The rest of the normal story is with 2 active abilities. Be warned, I don't think activating both during a paused game works. Seismic Snare is 60-second cooldown, 13 seconds duration, 35-meter range, and if enough of a unit is within that radius, and enough is calculated very conservatively by the game, a non-flying unit is snared for the remaining duration of the ability. This can be powerful, and the only way to use this with 2 grinder units is to be good enough to stagger the snares. As for flying units, Spells of Ruin have a whole spell dedicated solely to that job. On the ground, it's harder. Warp-quake has a different cooldown, a 90-second one, and inflicts minus 25% speed and direct damage to non-flying enemies for 17 seconds. The damage given from public sources is 90 to 180 damage to a unit per second, and from the way it's written, we expect this requires 24 or more models to get the full damage in. While it's very respectable damage on a blob when you don't have other options, or in combination with them, the warp grinders basically have no control over their opportunity to do that damage. In the redline skills, engineering skill at 3 pips grants warp grinders a special plus 12% speed bonus and plus 12 armor. Warp Smart provides rank 7 grinder teams with plus 5 leadership, plus 5 bonus versus infantry, and 15% spell resistance. In the tech tree, none of the usual techs that apply to weapons teams actually apply to warp grinders. They get nothing except the general plus 10% speed with hit and run. Iket's Forbidden Workshop provides some amazing buffs generally, greatly changing how this budget option otherwise functions. The first upgrade adds plus 30 melee attack, so plus 150% of base. Now, that weapon strength and the medium splash target size and 4 targets max actually matters. Witness Me, Skaven Edition, gives 40% damage resistance, also known as ward save, if under 50% total health. You might say this is even better with a higher health pool this patch. Basically, it makes the unit much harder to obliterate when it's already down. On that note, Warlock's Poultice provides regeneration, along with 20% fire weakness, and the expendable trait, so that when you finally lose a Warp Grinder unit, having it be routed or destroyed, anything more legit than a Skaven slave, or later on clan rats, won't even care. Powerful stuff. So how do we use Warp Grinders? Number 1, this is a Tier 2 building weapons team. Your earliest artillery is Tier 3, this being a Wallbreaker unit of shocking efficiency at that job. A single Warp Grinder team, with or without the Forbidden Workshop, is your can opener for cities. Number 2, using this as a blocker unit or a wall of infantry reinforcement unit can do you a lot of good. How much damage it does in a battle can vary wildly, but if it allows your other team's space to do their job, it's much more powerful than its damage output suggests. Number 3 is with the Forbidden Workshop, allowing you crazy additional power for what is, frankly, a very budget price, way below Storm Vermin. With magical attack and melee attack 50 and up, they can go hero hunting, if allowed to by circumstances. The other workshop upgrades either heal them back up to relevance or make them tough as iron, even adding expendability when their road blocking fails. There's not a whole lot of other ways to use them, but number 2 is so broad and flexible that you can still use them in quite a few situations. Just remember, this is the one weapons team that does not shoot. It needs the Quake to do big damage and prefers multiple units within that radius to do so. That's enough for now. I think it's clear and concise. Take care and have fun bringing your enemy's protective walls crashing down, preferably with infantry along with them.